Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Senate releases long-awaited border legislation, major asylum changes. The text of the much-anticipated border bill cracks down on parole and asylum. No, actually it doesn't. It gives so much leeway and sway to the head of the DHS, Homeland Security, and the president that may do this and may do that, not shall, not must, may do this and may do that. It's basically what they're doing now, they're making legal.
An unrelenting stream of immigration, non-stop, non-stop.
Let's read on. Senate negotiations on Sunday released the text of the much-anticipated border deal that lawmakers have been hashing out with the White House officials since December, incorporating significant reforms, including a crackdown on asylum and parole. Oh, hashing out since December. A whole, 40 days on a bill of this extraordinary impact? Talks about ongoing for months about a bipartisan group of lawmakers. Senator James Lankford, who owned Republican Party, disowned him for this. Christian Sinema, who's desperately trying to beat out a Republican and a Democrat in a three-way race in Arizona, have tried to strike a deal with the White House officials to fix the crisis of the southern border. There's nothing to fix. Just need to go back to the Trump era regulations, period, and the laws we already have. This is not brain surgery. This is the way to make what they're doing legal and give money to Ukraine, and they throw some money to Israel just to appease that part of the voting public. It's amazing to me. It's a joke. Why are Ukraine and Israeli funding even connected to this bill? What the hell does it have to do with border security? The answer is nothing. When I was a city councilman in the early 2000s here in upstate New York, it is against New York state law to add something that wasn't relevant to the ordinance of the bill that we were forming and passing, i.e., say we had a rule concerning parking. Pass the law, like we have alternate side of the street parking in the winter, and we change the hours. Then we add on something like money for, say, immigrant housing. Well, you can't do that by New York state law. It's against the law, but these guys can do it. Put unrelated things to the bill at hand and just attach it onto it. It's wrong. If those bills won't stand muster on their own, then don't send them in. The agreements hold the potential to allocate $6 billion to Ukraine and $14 billion to Israel, yet its passage through the House appears doubtful. They shouldn't even, this thing is so bad, it shouldn't be up for a vote. It will cause so much mayhem. Was it 5,000, 4,000 or 5,000 a day? And then it says it doesn't stop at the demand or request of the President or Department of Homeland Security. They may allow more in depending on what that individual thinks at the time. It's the exact same thing they're doing now. They're just making legal. But Republicans demanded limits on migrant releases into the interior, including the use of parole. Negotiations have been attempting to find a compromise. Every single one, according to this bill, that's quote-unquote parole, meaning we don't arrest you on the spot and deport you. We give you a court date. And it also gives billions of dollars to NGOs. Basically what they're doing is they're hotel clerks in a hotel checking in people. They're not border security. They're hotel clerks. It's amazing to me, and this money's going to get more of them. If you don't come through a port of entry and apply for asylum, the stay in Mexico policy should be put back.
An unrelenting stream of immigration. Non-stop. Non-stop.
It's amazing to me. Also, there's a rule that says if there's a country where you can get asylum before you come to the United States and you don't seek asylum there, we will not give you any. I.e., if you go through Central America and other countries and through Mexico, you have to apply for asylum there first. They're not enforcing any of that. They're just taking the laws we already have and throwing them in the toilet. While the Senate appears poised to fully release the text of the supplemental package after months of behind-closed negotiations, the leadership is aware by failing to include the House in their negotiations, they have eliminated the ability for swift consideration of any legislation, Speaker Johnson said. Yeah, because they know they have a slim majority, the Democrats in the Senate. They'll get it passed there. And they'll have all the Democrats vote for it and a handful of Republicans, and it'll be enough to squirrel through the House so they don't have to negotiate with the House. They don't have to. Unbelievable. The bill proposes an overall system with tougher and quicker enforcement measures. That's a lie. That's not even true. I don't even know why they put that in there. Yeah, it looks like it is. But all of it is we can change our minds at any time, the president and or the head of Homeland Security. Unbelievable. Any DHS head can change it as he or she sees fit. The same with the president. So it doesn't say shall or must. It's incredible. If the number of illegal border crossings reaches 5,000 daily for a 5-day average, an expulsion authority would automatically kick in so that migrants are sent back to Mexico without an opportunity to make an asylum claim. If that number reaches 4,000, presidential administrations would have the option of using the expulsion authority. Option of using the expulsion authority also applies to the 5,000 daily, which means they're doing what they're doing now, but now they have legal cover. And on top of that, it's for a number of years, and it would handcuff the next president, if that happens to be President Trump. Handcuffed. That's why it's so important to vote this November, not just for president, but for the down ballot people as well, i.e. the House of Representatives and the federal U.S. Senate. Biden referred to the authority and said he would use it to shut down the border as soon as the bill is signed into law. He can do that now. He can do that now. The bill would allocate $20 million for immigration enforcement, including the hiring of 1,000 new officers to evaluate asylum claims. They're not border security. They're basically hotel clerks, just taking your name and letting you in the country. And on top of that, every single one that you find in the country unlawfully that goes through this process, you give them money on a debit card, and you also give them permission for work permits. Ding, ding, ding. They should send off alarm bells to everyone, including the hiring of 1,000 new officers to evaluate asylum claims, as well as hundreds of Border Patrol agents. Thousands of new officers, but only hundreds of Border Patrol agents. If that doesn't get your attention, some of that money will go to shelters and services in cities across the U.S. that have struggled to keep up with the influx of migrants in recent months. The Biden administration caused this problem, and what they're doing is unlawful. I have no idea why they're allowed to do it. Migrants who seek asylum must provides protection for people facing persecution in their home countries, would face a tougher and faster process than having their claim evaluated. That's a lie. The NGOs tell them exactly what to say. I'm afraid to go back because of X, Y, and Z. And this bill even gives money to the NGOs so they can turn around and show the illegal migrants how to lie to get in. Talk about self-serving. The standard initial interviews known as credible fear screenings would be raised. Raised to what? What does that mean in English? And many would receive those interviews within days of arriving at the border. final decisions on their asylum claims would happen within months rather than often years-long wait that happens now. They say, well, we're streamlining the process. We're breaking the federal law now, and we want this law to help us streamline that process to break federal law. There's much more work to get done over the finish line because he's getting killed in the polls over migration. He's getting raked over the coals. And there's Democrats now that I know that say, see, the Republicans don't want to solve a problem. Biden's got a bill that will solve the problem. It's a lie. It's a scam. I want to be clear about something Biden said. If you believe, as I do, that we must secure the border now, doing nothing is not an option. No, what the new bill is doing nothing. What you're doing now is nothing. You're letting millions of people in to dilute the workforce, number one, to keep wages down. Historically, when you have more people, it's supply and demand, and they're all going to get work permits. So all these big corporations are salivating that we're going to be able to have all these new workers come in, and we can pay them the lowest possible amount allowed by law. That's exactly what's going on. It's incredible to me to reach this bipartisan agreement. You already have the majority in the Senate. You'll probably grab 3 or 4 senators and call that bipartisan out of the 50-odd senators on the right. And then in the House, you'll have maybe 15, 18 Republicans who vote with the Dems, and they call that bipartisan. Now, House Republicans have to decide, do they want to solve the problem, or do they want to keep playing politics with the border? This guy's got a serious set of balls. A serious set of balls. Or I should say the people that are really the president. It's amazing to me how they get away with this. I'm ready to secure the border and so are the American people. Then do it. Then do it. All those hundreds of millions of dollars of metal that she scrapped from border wall that was put in by Congress and didn't get finished under Trump's term, you sold for scrap. And then when you found out that certain states were buying the scrap so they could put up walls themselves, you stopped selling to certain people so they couldn't turn around and sell it to the states. And you let it sit there and rust and rot. Hundreds of millions of dollars worth of metal fencing. Yeah. Christian Cinema said the bipartisan border security package fixes the border crisis. That's a lie. It's a lie. This is the guy that should be really, really persecuted. Senator James Langford, a Republican of Oklahoma, said Americans are tired of the chaos and abuse at our border. Yeah, we are. But this is not the solution. As you can say, I was part of the solution. Langford got cut off by his own Republican Party in the state of Oklahoma for doing this. I am happy to amount. Happy? We have finally finished strong bill text to add to the supplemental funding bill. What the hell does Israel and Ukraine have to do with border security? But that's the way things roll. Though most members of the Senate have already been briefed on the contents of the bill, the final text should be distributed to the members of the Senate soon and posted online and within a day. And that's for finding all the details. And this clown, the only thing this guy has ever done that's worthwhile is he stopped Merrick Garland from being on the Supreme Court and helped streamline the approval of 3 President Trump Supreme Court nominees. That's it. That's it. This guy lines his own pockets just like the rest of them. It's time to start the president cleaning up this mess and equip future leaders with a system that works and new emergency tools to restore order. Yeah, too little, too late, clown. House Majority Leader Steve Scalise vowed that the Senate border bill would not pass the House. Good for you, Steve. If people don't remember, Steve Scalise is the one that was shot and was laid up for a long time and permanently disabled, of my understanding, at that Republican-Democrat baseball game where that lunatic progressive Democrat started opening fire on people. Here's what the people pushing the deal aren't telling you. It's not just the 5,000 illegal migrants as he mentions. It gives automatic work permits to asylum recipients, a magnet for more illegal immigration. It's incredible. Here's what the people pushing the deal aren't telling you. It accepts 5,000 illegal migrants a day and gives automatic work permits to asylum recipients. Senator Chuck Schumer said the vote on the package would come as early as Wednesday, meaning the day after tomorrow, because I'm recording this on Monday. It's a joke. It's a scam. Why do Republicans keep doing this to themselves? The Democrat policies from the current administration and all their people have caused so much harm economically, the immigration crisis. The list is endless. The price of gas, the price of food going up over 30%. They shoot themselves in the foot, the Democrats, every chance they get. So what do the Republicans do? A small handful always side with Democrats to make it look like we're bipartisan and give the Democrats what they want, which is disastrous. I'm not talking about politics here and disaster. I'm talking about disaster for the country. It's insane, and it's wrong. It has nothing to do with racism. We're a country. We make rules. Try to sneak into Mexico unlawfully and see what happens. You go to jail. Go almost anywhere in the world that you sneak into a country. And then when you get caught, you go, okay, you want asylum? No problem. Here's a debit card with $5,000 on it or whatever amount it is. Here's a place to go for housing. And by the way, here's an appearance ticket to appear in court to plead your case for asylum 3 years from now. Oh, by the way, we give you a work permit too. That way you can work for minimum wage all over the place and put out Americans that are trying to struggle to pay their bills. That's exactly what this does. Anybody that votes for this, including my congressman, I will never vote for. Never. And never is a very long time. What do you think? Are the Democrats going to be able to pull off this scam? It sure as hell looks like it. Let's pray not. This November election day can't come soon enough. Until the next time, God bless, goodbye, and good luck.